What's going on, everybody? I'm actually heading down to the jail. I gotta go visit with a client. We're gonna discuss some evidentiary issues that we gotta go over. We got a trial coming up, and so oftentimes clients will have questions about, what evidence is going to come in, what will you be able to keep out, what can we make sure comes in, any legal issues that are going to affect their case. Sometimes people are still interested in entertaining settlement discussions, trying to reach some sort of plea agreement. So we'll be talking about all these different things. I'm a big believer in spending time with your client. The reality is there's no substitute for spending time with your client. At the end of the day, no one knows the facts of the case more than your client. It's imperative that you have ongoing discussions with your client to be able to put you as a lawyer in the best possible position to defend them at trial, or even to aid in your negotiations if you're trying to reach some sort of settlement. So I'm heading down to the jail. I think we'll probably end up meeting for about an hour and a half. Make sure I get all his questions asked, make sure he's satisfied, and take it from there. But I've really been in some pretty deep thought lately as I think about the things that we're trying to do within our law firm. I really want to push the envelope on innovation, on implementing systems, implementing our policies and systems and procedures. We've really been working hard at that to eliminate mistakes, to run at a more efficient level, and just to meet a standard of excellence. And that's something that I've always had, just a standard of excellence. I always wanted to be great. And it goes all the way back to just being a kid. The earliest I can remember is giving speeches in church. So we had to memorize either Bible passages or these speeches that were, I guess you could say they were like poems. They were poems that were authored, interpreting Bible verses, or just talking about faith and happiness and joy of living a life in Christ. And I took advantage of those to be able to develop my oratory skills. Interestingly enough, at a young age, I was very interested in being able to speak in front of crowds and perform in that sense. As shy of a kid as I was a super shy kid growing up, but that was always something that intrigued me, being in front of people and being able to talk. And then moving on to being a musical performer. So in school, all throughout school, from elementary school all the way through high school, I was in band and loved performing. I loved honing my skills. I loved being in rehearsal and practicing on my own and just building my skill set. I wanted to be the best. I worked so hard at it. And so that carries into my career today. I want to be the best. I want to be one of the greatest to ever do it. And so I'm constantly evolving as a lawyer, but I also have, other hats that I wear. So I'm constantly seeking to evolve as a visionary, as a marketer, as a salesperson, as an innovator, as a manager, as a business owner, an entrepreneur, all these different things. And so it's interesting because I very much believe in education and consistently developing one's skill set. So I read a lot of books. I'm always consuming knowledge. But interestingly enough, as far as school goes, I wasn't all that interested in school. You could say I was a good student. I wasn't as good of a student as I could have been. If I had applied myself, I really don't think it really would have been that hard for me to have straight A's, but I don't know, like I just didn't really see the value in that. I was very bored in school. And so it's interesting, because as I continue to evolve, especially in my role as an entrepreneur, I'm learning a lot from entrepreneurs who are 10, 15, 20 years ahead of me, and seeing the common theme that they're generally intelligent individuals, but they weren't so they just didn't really care as much about school. It's interesting the way that works. So those common characteristics that lead one to to the path of entrepreneurship, and so that's really cool to see people who are at the forefront of the industry being able to come out and say, hey, I wasn't that great of a student, or I wasn't that interested in school. And it is interesting in terms of what that says about our education system and what needs to be done about that, because I do wholeheartedly believe that we need a change in our education system. There are so many ways in which we need to overhaul our education system. We have a very one-size-fits-all approach to our education system, and that just doesn't work. It's not working, and we need to do something about that. But what I can say for myself is actually in general, it's unfortunate that people end up getting so turned off to education that there's a lack of a desire to learn, to continue to learn, because it's so important to continue to evolve and learn new things, no matter what you do. And so I have 2 degrees. I have my bachelor's degree, I have a law degree, but yet I'm still constantly learning new things. The idea of your education stopping at 18 years old or at the high school level is just crazy. Like I can't even imagine stopping my education after having 2 degrees. The amount of information that I've learned between being 28 years old as a law school graduate and now like being 38 years old is insane. I've spent so much money on education and spent so much time on furthering my education to further develop my skill set, and I think that's wildly important. It's also a lot of fun too, though. Again, like people get so turned off to reading books and to learning because of how traumatizing the school experience may have been for them, that I think it's unfortunate that that's the case, because when you are learning because it's something that you want to do versus something that you're forced to do, I think that changes the whole game as well. So somehow being able to push education for adults, I think, is something that I'm interested in. I'm also very much interested in offering some sort of educational programs for youth. I'm really interested in being able to give children at a very young age a lot of the tools that I'm barely acquiring now in my late 30s. In my opinion, there's no reason why a young child would not be able to understand how to manage a business budget, would not understand how to manage people, how to manage money, how to create and how to market and how to sell These are all things that I believe that children have the capacity to do. And as we look and see the things that they're able to do as technology advances, there's no reason why they can't pick up these things at a young age. I'm interested in helping them foster healthy self-esteem. You know, again, things that I didn't learn until my 30s. You know, to be able to have solid values and be able to understand the things in life that truly matter. Because, you know, I guess on some level, I can't say that I wasn't taught these lessons, but I didn't truly internalize them. I didn't truly embrace them until later on in life. And I do believe that children can, you know, develop these and truly implement them, truly believe them, and this would be what creates our future and inspires our future leaders at a much younger age. And so I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but some sort of academy that would take place outside of, you know, and after the general school curriculum. And it's just something that I'm really developing and kind of spitballing, talking to some friends about it, running through it in my head. But these are the types of things that I think about in terms of how am I going to truly make my mark on this planet. And it goes beyond me having my one-on-one representation of clients as a lawyer. It goes beyond me meeting my professional and financial goals. It goes beyond that. It's so much bigger than that. And so that's why I say that with every single thing that I do within my firm, you know, every client that I get, you know, every client we're able to ultimately help as a firm, every person I hire, every person I train and develop and try and pull out their talents and help them discover their talents and grow. That is all. Each of those things takes me one step closer to being able to reach the goal of impacting people on a much broader scale. And that's one of the things that really inspires me, and one of the things that really pushes me forward. You know, to be part of something that is bigger than yourself, to be, you know, an innovator and a forward thinker in really believing that you can have a monumental impact on the world. Like that's you know, anybody, if they had tapped into what they were truly passionate about and what they really want to see happen in this world, I think anybody could at that level be inspired to go the extra mile, to do more than the average person, to you know, to put in those extra 5 hours in a day when everybody else, you know, is tapped out and ready to go home. So these are the things that truly inspire me and keep me pushing. You know, it's vastly fascinating and entertaining to me, and it's why I don't really have much desire in consuming TV. I don't really watch TV. I watch very little movies, but the things that I'm doing in terms of growing as a person and what I'm doing within my career and my interactions with my clients and my team and everything on that level, that's super entertaining to me. And that's why, you know, I much rather, you know, it's 7:41 on a Sunday evening, and I'm on my way to the detention facility, and you know, so I'm technically starting my week early. You know, I was in the office a little earlier, and you know, when people are in such a rush to leave the office or leave the work site at 5 p.m. on Friday, you know, I'm already ready to get the week started. I've technically started the week, and again, it's a combination of things. I think one thing, when you do work for yourself, there is there's a draw in that sense. But I know a lot of entrepreneurs who have no interest in in working weekends and working late nights. I think more than anything for me, it's just this internal battery that I have that drives me, that pushes me to push forward. And then it's also just feeling like I'm a part of something bigger. And so at this point, it's almost like in incubator stage. I mean, I'm in my 10th year as a lawyer, so I'm no longer a young novice lawyer, but now it's like pushing to that next level, pushing to laying the foundation for the next 10 years of my life. And I really can't imagine anything more exciting, anything more fascinating than that. And so it's inspirational, and I enjoy today. I enjoy today. I love today for the present, for the gift that it is, but I'm also insanely excited about the future. And so I'd love to have you continue to follow along the journey and see what I do. And chances are, at some point, I'm going to be asking you for help to help me do my thing, because again, like I said, it's not about me. It's so much bigger than me, and I realize I'm going to need help in so many different ways, and it's all for the greater good. It's all for having making our mark and leaving a legacy and truly having impact. So that's it for now. About to get off the freeway in a few minutes, and then it's time to go see my client. So y'all have a wonderful evening, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.